I think the work that I'm interested in making, it's trying to be sensitive enough to feel a sort of alchemy in the room that comes from the moment where music and physicality and emotional experience sort of meet, and how that just shifts. I basically feel like I'm just painting with a field of energy and emotion, and it consolidates sometimes and then it disperses in others. And it's not very narrative, it's more experiential. It was interesting to be exposed to Les Noces and to be offered this opportunity. What I understand is Stravinsky started this actually before the Rite of Spring was premiered, and then finished it, and it premiered after the Rite of Spring, after a lot of different changes with the orchestration. And Diaghilev brought it to Nijinsky as an opportunity, a well-deserved opportunity for her to create. And it premiered in 1923. You know, the piece she made was brutal, like Stravinsky's. Learning about Nijinsky and how revolutionary she was and how absolutely radical her point of view was, I just felt like this could be an opportunity to touch her wavelength in some way, or be connected to her, which was really special. For people who don't know it, it's a marriage between a woman and a man, and it seems almost arranged, loveless, and pretty much for the practical purposes of the society to, move forward and survive. The story of the bride and groom was generating a lot of inspiration. And when I read that Nijinsky sort of didn't listen to Stravinsky's text, the libretto, I felt like, oh, okay, so she released herself from being literal with the text and felt more maybe the brutality of the sound, of the music. So that kind of gave me a chance to think of letting go a little bit too of the story. And also reading that Stravinsky felt that there was like a continuum between the Rite of Spring and Les Noces. So then came the idea that maybe this is like back to back with the Rite of Spring, and the chosen one in the Rite of Spring has just been sacrificed. What if we start from there, right after that moment, and see what happens when a community who's participated in this sacrifice, what do they hope to achieve from it? And does that come to pass? And if not, how does that make us look at this ritual and what we do to each other? It's a new work. And even though there is the history and story from the Rite of Spring built into it, it's its own, hopefully new thing in the world. Phyllida, for me, is among some of the greatest sculptors that I know of. Like a ridiculous dream to work with her like that. And so to learn from E&B that it was a possibility kind of just made my palms start sweating, and I don't think they've stopped sweating since. I aspire to the things that she's done in spades. And so just being a little bit close to that, that is very special for me. I'm always amazed to see classical companies who can do really such a wide range of work. You don't see it in many places. So E&B is unusual. The dancers are giving everything that they have to it, even though it's absolutely outside of some level of comfort zone, I imagine. But they're doing it with a lot of love and generosity. And as a result, I think we've been able to go quite deep, quite quickly. And it's been really special. I've gotten to really love them. My hope is that it's almost like a playground in some ways, and or a conversation that we kind of really uninhibited, shamelessly experiment with each other.